Ghetto Garage, Wildcard Custom, Paint, Pimp, Wild-Eyed Northern Boy. Today is Saturday. It looks like it's 5 o'clock, right on the money. No, what am I thinking? Yeah, see what I mean? I can't read that. From a distance, because I'm an old man. It's 12:26. Here's my timer I use on YouTube. And then I will show you, that's the time I have in the car. That's on counter 3. And see how it's not moving because I'm not counting this minutes right now. So I need to go back to timer 1. Timer 1's still going. There goes the heater. Okay. Really ain't got a whole lot of words of wisdom. I just got tool time. That lip, I was thinking that there was strut bars in there or something, support, but there ain't, so I'm cutting that off after I weld this. What I did is I went in and cut all that rod out, what resembled metal. Cut back as much as you can, and then I wire brushed the rust out with that, and cut it and grind it, and there's the Dremel tool right there. Always wear your safety equipment. And then when I got the rust, I use a rust converter I put on it. And then let me see what rust converter, well, you can't really see it that much. Rust converter turns the metal black. And then I went back, and that's weld through primer. Weld through primer is this is the brand I use, 1K self-etching weld through primer. See, I even write the price on it, 12 bucks. You get 10.8 fluid ounces. I'm sure the next time I buy it, it'll be 7 ounces for the same price, whatever it costs. But anyway, the gauge metal I'm using is 18 gauge. See if we can pull it up here. And put my glasses on. 18 gauge. Actually, it's an old piece of metal out of a tailgate. What am I thankful for? The sun, and my Carhartts are clean. I washed them last night. Anyway, this is what I started with, the pattern. Some tag board. And measure it off and bend it. And this is what comes up to be. See, this is the back side. The only place I spliced it is there. Oh, that's right, and I spliced it there too. I try to keep patches in one piece if I can. And the reason I have that masking tape there is what I'm going to do is that I'm going to tape all this off, and I'm going to spray undercoat. This is Duplicolor undercoat, just as a precautionary. You can see I got my camera out here, but now I don't even have to take pictures of my work. I just, if Don wants to see it, I was going to say people want to see it, but you know what, I'm not working on nobody's car because I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. Not for a couple years. Anyway, that's my patch. And then I spliced that because that got to be hammered down. Pretty much covers everything. What I'll do is I'll go back, see now that primer, that red primer, I'll be able to weld through it. And then I'll lay primer on the outside and undercoat it, and I'll put diamond plate over it. And I went on the internet to look at 86 Mustangs with twin turbos to see how much room in the engine bay they got. That's one thing about YouTube. It's nice that somebody else has already basically done everything. This is not a welding blanket. This is just a piece of leather. I bought a few leather cowhides. I I don't know where I got them. I don't know where I got them, bought them. You see, I covered the whole car. Not just when I'm welding, but you know, when you're working on anything, you don't want to scratch your paint, somebody else's paint, or anybody else's paint. You know, you just use precautionaries, because you know you might be using a wrench and boom, you drop it on the fender. You know, you don't want that to happen. My welder's set up. The speed is what? I got it set at F. The volts is set at F on a Lincoln SP100, and the speed is between 3.5 and 4. What I'll do is do some tack welds, and then I'll go in with my body hammer. See that gap right there? I will push that there and attack it, and attack it down, and then I'll beat on it, of course, you know, to get it to fill. I believe we're gonna run these. I'm already one step ahead by the time I get done with this. I think the way these brake lines run, I'm gonna take these off, drop them down below, hopefully I don't mess the line up. Cut these tabs, I'll put diamond plate here. This has got to come off. This is a windshield wiper motor. This right here is where the squirter is for the windshield wiper. I don't like it there, so I'm gonna have them run the hose and drill a hole here, and it's up underneath here. The boot is, so I'll be able to measure that boot and drill a hole there. Cover the transmission up, because you know, even though this ain't my car, and something gets in there and it tears the transmission up, it's not good. And once the car leaves, I can claim, well, it wasn't my fault. Well, that's the easy way. So if I put plastic over it, you know, you just know. If something goes wrong with it, you have a clear conscience and go to bed at night saying, you know, I did the best I could. Maybe a couple of years ago I wouldn't have done that. I don't know. But you just, and then I got to hack these out. That is for the smog pump. Hack that stuff off. That's why it's got the purple line on it. When Don and Greg and them guys were there, I marked everything that I wanted hacked. See, now the heater, I told them to hack that out, but it's all behind the dash, so it doesn't take a lot of room up, so that's okay. Like I did on my Trans Am. See, I got diamond plate because the heater would be right there, and I want it smooth because my heater didn't set inside. But see, now if I did this quite a few years ago, it's not finished. If I would have had it done again, I'd probably go to a Grand Prix or something and put the heater inside underneath the dash and drill a hole so I have heat. You know, you ain't always thinking, you learn something. And my philosophy is, don't ever live on your last paint job, how good you did it. Don't matter what people say, how good a job you did. Because I feel in my world, in real life, real time, here in my garage, that if I allow myself to feel arrogant or brag about the work that I do, to me, you guys can say whatever you want, but to me, I don't like doing that, because then I feel I would get too cocky, and then you're only as good as your next paint job. Not your last paint job, your next paint job, because your next paint job is going to be better than the last paint job, because you learn things. You always learn. Keep your mind open, you know? That's my point. Like I said, I got 3 hours and some minutes into it. I want to see how long it's going to take to do this engine. Just engine bay, not even do the door jambs and hatchback. Basically going to run diamond plate. I got to figure out what it's hard to explain. Diamond plate, go here, come here, go up on the angle and roll up here. Now what I was thinking, all these wires right here, I'm thinking about when Don comes over tomorrow, I'll probably have this one done, but I was thinking about taking the diamond plate, come out here an inch, and then drop down and be hollow underneath there so you can run all these wires. I caught them last night. I understand it was Friday night, because I was concerned about those, hacking those off. Well, I did my own research. If Don would call, then I could ask him about that, but he didn't. I heard from his tattoo parlor that his phone isn't working that great. I don't know. Anyway, you guys bored yet? I don't know. I can't stress enough. Cover your stuff, man. Cover your stuff. Oh, and I found some pictures. Here's Don's Mustang, and here's what it looked like. That's what you see, the yellow and the gray, and you see the brown in the back. I laid catalyzed primer over that whole thing and blocked it out. I went through a lot of materials, but I learned from that job. I learned that you don't need that much primer. You don't have to shoot that much area. But I learned. And you know, my green S10 with the flames on it, that was that truck originally. And it's set behind this garage door. But this is the Mustang hood. You see how much hang is over here? What I did is I cut it about 7 inches up, cut it across here, pied it here, and there's about a 4-inch gap in between here. So what I did is I took panhead screws and bolts and lock bolts and ground all this paint off, bolted it down, see where it would be, pulled it back up, grind all the paint underneath there, put tiger hair underneath there, put the bolts back down, tighten them down, and just like I did it here, I put bolts up underneath here, like with a stopper on it, just so I know where it's set. Pulled it back up again, put fiberglass all up in here. After I got all said and done, I didn't like the movement, so I used expanding foam in here for what space was open. Expanding foam, it keeps things rigid. But anyway, that was a lot of work. Like I said, this is real life in real time, and this is how I do it, and if somebody doesn't agree with it, okay. I learn things every day. It's 11 minutes and 51 seconds. Don't know. I use a Play-Doh like I said before. If you're welding a lot in one area and you want to keep the heat under control, I've used Play-Doh. A lot of times, because I'm going to tack weld this, what I'm going to do is have an air hose here, and when I tack weld it, blow it off with air because it cools down real quick. Go around and tack this, of course, and then do a full weld and then put undercoat on it and then start doing my pattern. And I like this right here. I think that's a center force clutch adjustment. That's pretty cool. I got some aftermarket struts. Now what I've noticed, and I'll have to talk to Don, this is what I was noticing here today. The way that hood sets, it looks to me that no, it isn't above the fenders, but the way the hood is, and I did the diamond plate, that nut is too tall. So it's going to create more work for me, because basically what I think is going to end up happening is you got what, I don't know, an inch. Going to have taken this nut off, hacking this down flush here, and then put a flathead mark in it and grind it down like that, cut a slot in it, then put the nut back on. So cause you gotta have that to screw this nut on. You know, I gotta hack these bolts off down here. It's all trial and error. And then I think the diamond plate's gonna come right up in here, but I didn't realize that. See how the curvature is right there and it's not flat across, so it's gonna take some finagling. My point is, you can do it, but people don't realize how much time it takes. So I'm going to show you in real life how many hours it takes. And the clock is counting down at 13:57. Be good to everybody. What kind of mood am I in? Tired, because I'm an old man. You know, it's like this. The day is kind of one of those days when you come out here and you really don't want to do it. But I guess you're standing out here doing it because you got to do it. But this is what I've learned. Even if I tell myself, if I would just sit in the house doing nothing, nothing gets done. But if I come out here and work for 15 minutes, after 15 minutes, it usually turns into a couple hours and you get something done. You kind of get into it. But anyway, that's just my philosophy. And Tommy, as the world turns, time, Tommy, whatever, peace, enjoy your day.